So I'm going to do this MCU collection. Now, I know I'm missing a couple movies here. This is not a complete collection, but I'm not sure what other movies I'm missing. So if you want to tell me right now, put it down in the comments. If how many movies am I missing, um, and and um, and what they are in title, full title, so I know. Please do me that favor. That's kind of why I'm doing this video. Sure, I could just Google search it, but I'm going to make this video. I'm going to do that. So, first up, we got Iron Man 4K. Now, some of these are Blu-ray, some of these are 4K. Here's the thing. I don't really care that much about the Marvel movies to where I need every single one in 4K or Blu-ray. It's just whatever ones I can get cheap. Most of the ones that are in 4K got $8. Everything else got about $6. I got these at deals, pawn shops, thrift stores, or I bought them at yard sales and things like that, and I've accumulated these. So this one was, Iron Man. I actually haven't seen this movie. I know I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I actually need to watch it. But here's the thing: I don't really get super into the Marvel movies, so I don't feel like I need to watch every single one. Now this one was the one I paid the most for, which actually I didn't pay for it. I asked for this for Christmas because I knew I wanted to start collecting the Marvel movies. And here's the thing about Incredible Hulk: it's a bad movie made by Universal and / Marvel Studios, so it's kind of that crossover. Didn't work out, but it since it was made by Universal, they released it on 4K, and it's like $15 on 4K. So it's like, yeah, I'll put that on my Christmas list and get this movie because I was going to get it anyways. But might as well ask for it for Christmas, and that way I can just have someone else pay the money that I don't want to for it because it's not good. So, and, I wanted it anyways, so it's not like, hey, I was technically doing anything wrong. Iron Man 2, some of these have slips, some of these don't. I don't really care. Iron Man 2 is bad. I don't know why I've seen Iron Man before Iron Man 2, but I just have. Captain America, the first Avenger. It's been so long since I've seen it, I literally have nothing to say about it. It's kind of a forgettable movie. Thor, not good. I hate Dutch angles, and when you film movies at Dutch angles for absolutely no reason, screw you. Avengers. I really like this movie. However, this is not a great movie, and I'm tired of people like flipping out over this movie like it's the greatest thing ever, especially when it came out. Now I think it's kind of died down, but I still think with all the Marvel movies, they're overhyped because they're kind of that fan culture thing, which is fine to enjoy something. Like, I enjoy it too, but I admit this movie's terribly shot. A lot of the acting's bad. A lot of the dialogue here is horrible. Some of it's fun, some of it's not. But, there's some fun parts about this movie, but, it's not that great of a movie. And I know it's like in IMDb's, top 100, 200 movies or something like that. Sorry, my guinea pigs are in the background making a lot of noise. Iron Man 3. This movie's great. Shane Black's directing here is awesome. People don't like the Mandarin twist. Grow up. He's a racist stereotype, so if they'd done the actual Mandarin from the comics, I don't know what your problem is. And if you like Guardians of the Galaxy and you complain about the Mandarin twist in this movie, shut the hell up, because Guardians of the Galaxy is nothing like the comics. As long as you're improving upon things, I don't mind the changes. That's why I hate the Spider-Man Tom Holland movies, which I'll talk about soon. Captain America Winter Soldier. It's not a deep political thriller. It's still a dumb comic book movie. Let's calm down about this movie. I enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but it's not deep. It's not the same as most Marvel movies. Yay! Thor 2. We don't talk about it because it doesn't exist, because if it was a movie, I would remember it. Ant-Man. Screw Ant-Man. I really hate Ant-Man. You fired Edgar Wright to hire a man who made Yes Man with Jim Carrey. And he literally is a yes man, because this movie, it has no personality in directing, anything. Like Avengers, you can tell somewhat it's a Joss Whedon movie. You could tell with the Russo brothers when it's their movie. Taika Waititi, you could somewhat tell. James Gunn, stuff like that. This, just absolutely worthless movie. Um, I know people like Ant-Man and he's funny or whatever. Ant-Man's funnier when he plays off of other characters. He's terrible in his own movies. And there are just some characters that should never get solo movies, especially Ant-Man. Ant-Man in the comics, sure, but they didn't adapt Ant-Man from the comics. And again, I'm okay with changes as long as you improve stuff, and they just didn't. Age of Ultron, terrible, boring, utter garbage. Guardians of the Galaxy, I love this movie. It's great, absolutely fantastic. Captain America Civil War. I really hate this movie. It is such a worthless plot because, there is an intrigue there where you could do a cool story about characters fighting for their beliefs. But here's the thing. All these characters act like they're not even going to follow the rules. They break the rules all the time. And they're not even, did Tony Stark in Infinity War sign off with all the bureaucratic nations? No, because he never planned to. So really, our characters are fighting over nothing this whole movie. So it's just such a worthless movie. Why would you watch this movie? Yeah, there's that cool airport fight. But when you realize the airport fight is happening for no reason, our characters have no reason to be fighting, except they just decided to. Because again, they all break the rules in other movies after this. I don't understand why they're fighting. Black Panther has a great arc that's better than anything is given in his actual solo movie, which is sad because that's the only thing Chadwick Boseman did before he really died, which is rest in peace, man. But this is just garbage. Garbage movie. And it's why would you treat Marvel's top-selling comic like this? Really, Doctor Strange. I saw this in the theater. I thought it was pretty good, and I've never had a desire to watch it since then. And that's a sign of a movie that isn't good. That I never want to watch it again. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, great, even better than the first movie. I cry every time with this movie. Taika Waititi. Here's the thing about Taika Waititi. He's never made a bad movie. This movie is funny. It has some funny parts to it. Not a good movie, but, there's some enjoyable parts there. So, we'll give him a pass. Infinity War. My favorite Marvel movie. I've seen this over 50 times. I keep rewatching this movie. It gets better every time. Such a well-paced movie. Fixes so many problems I've had with Marvel movies. The humor being bad. Great in this movie. The effects being kind of wonky. Great in this movie. A lot of the pacing, and there's no wasted space and time. It's just, yes, there's so much weight and consequence to this movie. I mean, besides all the characters literally getting dusted at the end. This movie is great. Ant-Man and the Wasp. If Ant-Man's worthless, this is double worthless. I know some people are like, man, I gotta see it because I have to know what happens endgame. No, you don't. It's a worthless movie. Wow, Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm. Cool. That could have been the post-credit scene at the end of Avengers Infinity War. Instead of that Nick Fury bullcrap. Why did Nick Fury just snap? It doesn't even make sense. Captain Marvel. I've never seen it, never will. I just can't, won't bother. Avengers Endgame. One of the most overrated films of all time. The time travel stuff in this movie is terrible. It's overly long. It's boring. The characters constantly break the rules that they spend so long saying, here's the rules, here's the rules, here's the rules, here's the rules. Okay, then they break them. And the stuff that they set up in this movie with that Loki TV show just doesn't look interesting. It's just boring. And then there's that cool battle at the end and a decent, pretty good death scene for Iron Man. But so that way, basically, everybody will forget how bad this movie was for the first few hours and be like, oh, it's great because You know how many movies do that, where there's like it's a really boring movie, has a lot of terrible stuff in it, cringeworthy humor, blah blah blah, and then it has such a great ending that people just come out of the movie and they're like, yeah, that ending, and then they forget about the rest of the movie. Happens all the time. And this is one of those examples. I mean, it's one of the worst examples I can think of. Rogue One was kind of like that, where the whole movie was really boring, but people came out loving it because the whole ending where they all died and they stole the Death Star plans. Like, really, this movie sucks. I'm sorry. There's some cool parts about it, some well done stuff, but the way they treat characters in this movie, some of them are just like, well, they're decent, like Captain America, Iron Man. Some were just straight up disrespectful. Like, what the hell are you doing with the Hulk? What are you doing with like just a lot of characters in this movie? Like Hulk dabs and plays Fortnite. The whole Fat Thor thing. First time I watched it, I thought it was pretty funny. But then, like, you realize the idea is he's suffering from PTSD, and they're making a joke that he's fat, depressed, and has PTSD. Like, these are real medical conditions that he's suffering from, and they're like laughing at him. It's like, that doesn't sound funny. That's messed up. Like, you're really bad humor in this one. And then Spider-Man Far From Home. I watched 10 minutes of it, turned it off. Because I was watching the 10 minute, I watched, I think about 40 minutes into it. I think the first time I watched like 10 minutes, and then I watched 40 minutes of it and turned it off. I just couldn't tell that they were making jokes because their attempts at humor was so bad, and it just wasn't interesting watching it. I know some people were like, wow, Mysterio was a villain. And I'm just like, no, it's not surprising. It's just such bad writing. Just really boring as tar stuff. Marvel isn't my thing, if you couldn't tell. But I did want to make this video to show, hey, I do have these. My collection is growing. Because I was going to do a weekly haul video like I've been doing. But honestly, really all I've grabbed recently was MCU movies. Because I'm trying to complete that collection. Because, we got these Marvel shows coming out soon. And to, do that video. To do the videos on those, I kind of want to have my thoughts known out there about the Marvel movies and review them all. But right now, so far I know I'm missing Spider-Man Far From Home. Or not Far From Homecoming. Really don't like that movie. Because they just treat Spider-Man with such disrespect. It's not even a Spider-Man movie. And I know I'm missing Black Panther, but still, like, isn't there another one I'm missing here? There's got to be something. I don't know what it is I'm missing. So I'm trying to figure that out. If someone knows, if you go watch the whole video, kept tracks of all my movies here, let me know in the comments what movies I'm missing. Make sure it's actually part of the MCU. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, you're missing Spider-Man 3 or something like that. I'm like, cool, but I'm asking about my MCU collection. I'll get the other Spider-Man movies at some point, but And I do have other Spider-Man movies. Like, I have a Spider-Verse, but that's over with my Sony movies because it's a Sony movie. It's not really part of the MCU. And so the MCU, basically I have my collections organized. I just kind of have random titles, Criterions, and then I do anime, and anime transitions into Disney, and it's Marvel because Marvel's owned by Disney. But I do MCU though. And then I put Star Wars, 20th Century Fox, because again, they're owned by Disney. It travels to Universal, which goes to DreamWorks because DreamWorks is owned by Universal. I do Mill Creek, Shout Factory, Warner Brothers. Then it goes to Warner Brothers to Sony, Lionsgate, Paramount. I think there was another one, but I'm forgetting it. But, I have some random titles like Magnolia titles, RLJE Entertainment, stuff like that. But that stuff is like, yeah, those I have those, but I don't really consider them enough to where I could build a whole shelf around them. Like my Disney titles take up a whole shelf pretty much. or it's getting there anyways. I got a lot of stuff. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos coming your way soon. But if you're wondering why I didn't upload a Blu-ray Hunting Tuesday, my Walmart has been so bad about stocking stuff that I haven't found anything at my Walmart. They haven't put out new releases, put out new pops, anything in a long time. I'm just getting to that point where I'm just I'm just done with my Walmart. So, but cool.